Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Just the other day, I did a video called The 10-Day Theory, and I talked about how Barack Obama might be assassinated on October 19th. I made that video showing how he was tracing Bobby Kennedy's footsteps in history, who was assassinated 10 days after visiting Roseburg, Oregon to speak about gun control. Obama spoke in Roseburg yesterday, October 9th. He is now traveling in the West Coast as Bobby Kennedy did in '68 when he was assassinated. Obama has a lot of connections to the Kennedys and their deaths. He also has some very major connections to Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, the first ever to be assassinated. In this video, I want to show you how the 10-day theory connects to the death of Lincoln, and I want to show you some other synchronicities about his own assassination and how they connect to Obama. So, a lot of people don't know, Lincoln avoided an assassination at the beginning of his presidency, February 23rd, 1861. On this day in history, he went to the Willard Hotel where his entourage was able to help him break up an assassination plot. Notice the date, February 23rd. 2/23, a lot like the number 223, the number of the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews who will rule in the end times, as prophesied in Revelation, the final book of the Bible. The numerology of this date that he avoided assassination connects to the date he was shot on, April 14th, 1865, more than 4 years later. He would be shot on Good Friday. Notice that the numerology of this date is 104. Think about the phrase 10-4 for message received. Lincoln would be shot on Good Friday, April 14th, 1865. He would die the next day, April 15th. Good Friday has gematria of 104. This day that he avoided the assassination attempt also has a life lesson number of 41. 41 is an important number. It's the 13th prime number. The acronym USA equals 41. Words such as home equal 41. Lock and key both sum to 41. 41, an important number in this study of gematria. Also, this date has a numerology of 86. Special number, the words symbol, triangle, and pyramid have gematria of 86, a number that shows up a lot around death. Today, as I make this video, there was a bombing in Turkey by the numbers, did a video on it, and the major networks all reported at first that 86 people had been killed. So anyway, this Willard Hotel, it has a major connection to Ford's Theater, where Lincoln would die a little more than 4 years later. Notice the gematria of Willard Hotel the small way, 58, and the gematria of Willard Hotel the big way, 139. This is identical to Ford's Theater, which is also 58 the small way and 139 the big way. These are special numbers because the word Freemasonry sums to 58 and 139. So we established the synchronicities between the attempted assassination of Lincoln and then his future assassination date. In this one, on this page, I want to show you how the 10-day theory, which I have applied to Obama, which once applied to Bobby Kennedy, also applied to Lincoln. It is said in history that on the date of April 4th, Lincoln dreamed he would be assassinated. This is 10 days before he was actually shot on April 14th. It should be noted that the first ever president to die in office was the 9th president, William Henry Harrison, the first Whig who died on April 4th, 1 month into his term, the shortest presidency in the history of the nation. In this story, Lincoln on April 11th, 7 days after having the dream, 3 days before being shot, supposedly went to his friend Lamont and said he was annoyed by this dream. It was really bothering him. Now remember, April 4th, 44, Sagittarius, all of these numbers have a connection to 144. Abraham Lincoln's nickname was Honest Abe, which has gematria of 44. 44 is the kill number. If you write out 44 in Summit, it sums to 144. If you write out April 4th in Summit, it sums to 144. If you write out the phrase 10 days later, it sums to 144. Lincoln would be shot 10 days later after his dream of being assassinated. The date he was shot, Truth Seeker, Lincoln, April 14th, 1865. This is a date with 101 numerology. 101. 101 is the gematria of the word assassin. Notice how the Jewish gematria of assassin is 411. Also, Truth Seeker, April 4th is the 104th day of the year. Remember, the first assassination plot was on a date with 104 numerology. He would then be shot on Good Friday, which has gematria of 104. So his dream came on the 104th day of the year. One more, 104, 10-4, message received. Also, with regards to 144, Lincoln is best remembered for his Gettysburg Address. Gettysburg has this gematria of 144. We'll talk a little bit more about the Gettysburg Address in a moment. But these numbers repeating all throughout history. JFK shot from 411 Elm Street. In 1961, the Andy Griffith Show had an episode about a bootlegging family that operated out of 411 Elm Street. Think about that in regards to the Kennedy family who came up on bootlegging. And again, JFK was shot on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius also has this 144 connection. Lincoln, it said he died at 7:22 in the morning. What's interesting about this number 722 is that if you divide 22 by 7, you get 3.14 decimal points, repeating the number for pi. And remember, if you sum the first 144 decimal points of pi, you get the number 666. The phrase mark of the beast also equals 144. Mark of the beast refers to the number 666. In the Bible, in Revelation 13:18, that speaks about the mark of the beast, the number 223 is coded into the passage for the synagogue of Satan in the King James Version of the Bible. So all this coding is very deep. It's all very connected. 144, 223, 666, all these numbers have a relationship all through Revelation, the final book of the Bible. Again, in Revelation, it says the false Jews, the synagogue of Satan, will rule in the end times. This nation was created, no doubt, out of the book of Revelation. I have several videos on this. Please check them out. Revelation is the playbook. So something else to notice, Truth Seeker. First, notice the gematria of the word kill in Jewish, 59, and in simple English gematria, 44. The name John F. Kennedy summed to 59. He was the 44th term president. Good Friday has Pythagorean gematria of 59. Lincoln was shot on Good Friday. And again, Honest Abe, the nickname, has gematria of 44. Fateful numbers. The date Lincoln was shot on, not died on, but the date he was shot on, has this numerology of 101 connecting to assassin, 38 connecting to death, 29 is a number that connects to the date of the Gettysburg Address, 101, 38, 29, 83, all these numbers have 11 numerology. Special numbers, master numbers. The date Lincoln would die on is also interesting. The next day at 7:22 in the morning, it's a date with numerology of 102. United States of America, with the S exception, sums to 102. Lincoln is credited with saving the Union. He would die just after the conclusion of the Civil War, supposedly at age 56. It's a date with 39 numerology. This is an incredibly important number to the nation. 39 signers on the Declaration of Independence. This number comes from the Old Testament. The Zionists, the Masons, they follow the Bible. 39 books in the Old Testament. Revelation is based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. It's also a date with 84 numerology. United States of America, Pythagorean's 84. Jesuit also has gematria of 84. And a lot of people say it is the Jesuit order that is responsible for the assassination of Lincoln. Lincoln would die on the 105th day of the year, April 15th, a very special number to the Zionists and the Masons. This is now tax day. 47 years after the death of Lincoln, the Titanic would sink. And recently, on April 15th, 2013, there was the bombing at the Boston Marathon. The younger Tsarnaev brother was blamed for the bombing. His birthday is July 22nd, 722, just like the time Lincoln died at. There's a whole lot more coding than that. Please check out my videos on the Boston Marathon bombing. In the time of Lincoln, these people operated by the numbers. In the present, they operate by the numbers, and these people will continue to operate by the numbers until they are taken out of power and fully exposed. This year on April 15th, the anniversary date of Lincoln's assassination, we got this story. Message delivered. A 61-year-old man in a gyrocopter named Doug Hughes was bringing a personal letter to the president. Look at all the 61 on this, Truth Seeker. Doug Hughes equals 61. He was 61 years old. Gyrocopter equals 61. This incident came exactly 61 days after the 44th day of the year, Lupercalia, which even has gematria of 44 and falls on the 44th day of the year. Gyrocopter the big way also sums to 142 like President Obama. So a message was no doubt delivered. What exactly does that message mean? To me, I think it's a foreshadowing for what is to come to Obama. And that will be his faked death for the head of this race war gun agenda that the media and our government has been building against us actively in the time of his presidency and even well before that. Rodney King beating, all this stuff over the years has been by these numbers through and through. With regards to the Gettysburg Address, what Lincoln's best remembered for, few things to notice. The date that he gave it has a numerology of 93. He begins with the tribute 7 years ago, which is 87 years ago, when the nation began in 1776. 1776, the year, is a year with 93 numerology. 17 plus 76 equals 93. The new building in New York that's 1,776 feet tall, One World Trade Center, has a gematria of 93. This is a very important number to the nation, to the Zionists, a whole lot more. Boston Marathon bombing sums to 93, Truth Seeker, just like the word propaganda. And think about how that event happened on the date Lincoln died on. This is also a date with 111 numerology, very special numbers. The 323rd day of the year. Again, the word president has a gematria of 47. This year on April 7th, 4/7, there was a blackout at the White House. Just think about what these references are really to. This year when the Cubs hosted the Nationals for the Nationals' 47th game, who are from Washington, D.C., there was a blackout at the game. It was the 46th game of the year for Chicago. Chicago equals 46. Obama's from Chicago politically. Also, 46 plus 47, the two amount of games played between the two teams, is 93. Numbers often found around sacrifice. These Zionists, they control a lot. Sports leagues, media, politicians, and they code it all with their numbers. Lincoln died at 722 because of its connection to pi. These people are about cycles and circles. Pi is the number that has to do with cycles and circles. So that's pretty much the message, Truth Seeker. I just wanted to show you all the coding behind the death of Lincoln and how it was foreshadowed even from February 23rd, 1861, with the failed assassination attempt. So again, I hope the message is coming through. 10-4 over and out.